Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter. Welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode number 336 for December the 9th, 2025. And let's jump right into what I've been making, or finishing up is probably a better way of describing this. So here I have my mistletoe Christmas quilt. This is a pattern by Chelsea Stratton of A Quilting Life. And I've done some of her patterns before in the past, as you know, and I always find her patterns very nice. They're very easy to follow and always turn out really lovely. And this one is no exception to that rule. I'm very proud of this. I think it looks really great. And I am featuring a special fabric, fat quarter fabric bundle that was gifted to me several months ago from my good friend Julie Kuhn. And I wanted a pattern that would show that off, and this one I think does a really nice job of showing off the pattern in each one of those bigger squares in the bear paws. I deviated from the color scheme that they asked for when it came to doing the border. They had something that was a little lighter. I decided to go a little darker, and I'm glad I made that choice because I think it makes really makes the rest of the quilt pop. And I used light binding. I don't often use a light binding, and it is different from the backing of this quilt, which is just a mottled red and green batik to be exact. And yes, if you ask, I know there's some controversy about this, but you can mix batiks with prints, and there's no problem. At least I've never had a problem. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. I did quilt it on Lucy. It has like snowflakes. I don't know if you can see those. If you look more into the white pieces, you maybe see the outline of some of those. Snowflakes and swirls. And Lucy was a very good girl. When I did this last week, she didn't give me a moment's worry. So I'm very happy with the way that turned out. And on the heels of that, I did this table runner. This is an in the hoop project, and then you sew the pieces together. A tip here, if you want your rounded edges to be round, well, we all know that you're supposed to take little clips out of them around it, little V's. Well, somebody suggested to me using pinking shears, so I tried that, and yeah, that's my new technique when I hit curves, when I have a project that I have to turn, right sides out from. Like this one, and it does. It makes your curves lay really flat. So I am pleased with the way this turned out, and I'm going to be using this on Christmas Day, and it's called Pine Cones, and I shared the pattern with you, I believe, last week or the week before. But you do need an embroidery hoop or an embroidery machine in order to do this, because it's that in the hoop project. And you can, if you look at it closely, you can see that it is also quilted as well, and it's quilted by the embroidery machine. It's built right into the files. Okay, and then this one is one excuse me, I finished up the top of it back in early September, I think, maybe even late August when I started this. I don't remember if this was actually a pattern. I think it's my own design for this. And yeah, pretty sure it's my own design. Nothing too complicated. And I got it on Lucy as well at the same time as I did the other quilt, mistletoe quilt. I put this on Lucy, did the same backing on it, and the same quilting design as well. Killed two birds with one stone. And again, Lucy was very cooperative. So this one I may be using on Christmas Day as well. This one I'm not as excited about because it is a different kind of color scheme than you would traditionally think for Christmas. And in that way, I think you could just call it a winter table runner. But even so, it could be used in the spring. Hey, if you don't look at it too closely, notice that some of those things are actual snowflakes. You can use it all year round. Whatever floats your boat. And I finished this one up yesterday. It is an in the hoop project as well. It's a tiled scene, and I've talked about tiled scenes before. They are mostly made up of thread on a backing fabric, and this one is like that. It was made in 3 pieces. Then you sew the 3 pieces together, trim it so you get the sock shape, and put a backing on it. And there's also batting in this. And there's a lining too. Now, if I was to do this project again, they called for putting the batting in after you'd sewn the panels together, and then you trace out the sock on your batting, 2 pieces, one for the front, one for the backing, and you do the same with the lining. I think what I would have done differently with this is I think I would have put the batting down in the hoop when right with the first outline stitch, and then gone from there. And no one's going to see that because it's covered by the lining, and it's going to save you a step. I think that would be better to do it that way. Now, that does mean, though, that there's going to be batting. Well, actually, it doesn't mean anything. There is batting. I was going to say that usually they make the batting, if it's going to be put in the hoop at the same time as the top, they usually make it a little smaller so you don't have batting right in the seams when you're joining at the seams. But this one, no, it has batting in the seams, and that worked okay too. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work if I just, instead of cutting it out, it just gets laid down in the hoop and away you go. Yeah, I definitely think you could do it that way. So yeah, it's decorative, and it hangs on my fireplace upstairs right now. And I think that's, well, all I've got to show you there. Yeah. So what else? Okay, announcements. Sewing with Stephen as usual on Wednesdays. So starting at 9, runs till 4. All are welcome. Link is in the show notes below. Coming up, though, I do have a pop-up sew day on Saturday, December the 20th. So at the time of recording this, not this Saturday coming, but the following Saturday. So that's December the 20th. It starts at 8 a.m. and runs till 4 p.m., but come at any time you wish. It's a come and go as you please. Yes, I know it's very close to Christmas Day and you're probably very busy, but some of you may not be. Some of you may be so well organized, you've got nothing to do that day. Or others of you aren't doing all that much on Christmas Day. So either way, you are welcome to join us for whatever time you can on December the 20th, and maybe even catch up on some of those last minute Christmas gifts or whatever. Okay. There'll be more details about that coming out next week. So stay tuned, including the link. So you know that way back in the 1st of September, I started embroidering these bags that came from Dollarama, which is our dollar store here in Canada. And they were a bag made out of very heavy felt. They were a good size and very, very sturdy. So the trend was to pull them apart, put them under your needle on your embroidery machine, and go to town on them. And I did. I went to town on 12 of them. And it took me forever. And I had a few of you make some suggestions on how that could go faster, like, why are you embroidering both sides of the bag? Why not just one? Yes, but if you don't know me by now, you know that I never do anything that doesn't go just a teensy bit overboard. I'm not sure what that says about me. I don't need you to tell me what it says about me. But yeah, they took forever to do, but the end result was worth it. And well, here you go. The bags that I made with all the Christmas decorations I've been, or not Christmas decorations, but Christmas gifts that I've been making for different people, including the ladies at my local quilting store. And here is what they look like under my Christmas tree. That was anticlimactic. Okay, let's see. Here we go. There they are. There's all the bags. Now, for those of you that are eagle-eyed and are starting to count, no, there are not 12 under the tree because 2 have already been given away. So, yeah, they look very pretty under my tree, and I foo-fooed them up with the tissue paper, but there are gifts inside them, 3D printed gifts that I've been making all year as well. And, yeah, they look great under my tree. But they'll soon disappear as I give them out. So yeah, great little project. Would I do it again? Yes, maybe not 12 of them at a time. Maybe I should buy a few spare ones next time I'm in the dollar store because, you know, they won't be there forever. And I did notice they had bags as well for like $4 that look like leather. But I know they're not leather. They're probably a vinyl. But I'm thinking I might get one or two of those and see if I can embroider on them because the shape of them was very interesting. And I think if you add a little embroidery to them, they could look really kind of classy, given that they're coming from the dollar store. Yeah, don't ever underestimate your dollar store for gift ideas. They have some neat stuff. At least our Dollarama does. It's a great dollar store chain. Okay, so what else happened this week? Oh, yes. Well, you've probably already seen it, but on Friday, Walter and I released our first video in our series on opening the MSQC, the Missouri Star Quilt, Jenny Doan's Advent Countdown to Christmas, whatever you want to call it, box. We opened up the first 5 days on December the 5th, and we're going to open the next 5 days, days 6 to 10, in a video that will be available tomorrow on December the 10th. So you can see what we think of the next 5 items in that unboxing. There is a link in the show notes for the first 5 days. And yeah, and the next 5, as I said, are released tomorrow, Wednesday, December the 10th. Okay. Excuse me. As I clear my throat. All right, so what else happened last week? Well, we had So Chatty last week. We did a topic that was suggested to us by one of our subscribers. What to do with your fabric when you die? What's going to happen to your stash? And although it's a little morbid to think about something like that, it is a real concern for a lot of people. So we called it fabric estate planning. And I did some research and found some interesting things that you can do to prepare for who's going to look after your stash after you're gone. So if you didn't see that, that was out on Friday. So check it out. And next week, well, which is this week, this Friday, we're doing an unbagging of the Santa sack from Kawartha Quilting. I don't have it yet, but I have been notified that it's available for pickup. So probably later today, we're going to go up to Kawartha Quilting and get our hands on that. So that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week. And this comes from another friend of us, of the channel, and a longtime subscriber. And it's Colleen Pigeon, who lives in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, a fellow Canadian. And we have seen some of her beautiful creations before. So here's another one. This week's quilt from a subscriber comes from my friend Colleen Pigeon from Prince Edward Island. And this quilt came at a timely time because last week I talked about the book or the instructions for making this quilt from Art East, and it's called the Mini Quilt Sampler. And this is what Colleen has to say about it. Attaches a photo of an Art East Quilting Company pattern, the Mini Sampler, I just completed. I featured a blender fabric collection called Fusions that was popular about 10 years ago. By buying the end of the bolt on Final Fridays at my local quilt shop, Quilting Bee and more, I had random quantities of those I was able to find. Don't look too hard. There were several learning curves, some not navigated as well as others. I'm thrilled with the result and will keep this one on my couch. Well, Colleen, I think it turned out beautiful. I love the fabrics you used in it, and you have just inspired me to get started on working on my version of the Mini Quilt Sampler by Art East Quilt Company. And I know you, Colleen, have done several of the Art East, and since he is a native East Coaster of Canada, as you are, I can see a connection there too. So well done, wonderful quilt. Thank you for sharing it with us. So this is the time of the year on YouTube where content creators do something called Vlogmas. We talked about Vlogmas and why I don't do Vlogmas on Stephen and Walter Live on the weekend. But if you are one of those kind of people who loves to check out, new products or mostly unboxings, or in some cases, some people like Adam of Adam Sews. He's just showing you how to make various blocks as well. And other ones do similar tutorials in Vlogmas. Then you're going to be interested in what I have to say about Vlogmas on YouTube. And, well, listen up. Well, 'tis the season, isn't it? It's the season for Vlogmas. And everybody and their dog is doing a Vlogmas, except me. But there are tons of them, and I know many people really enjoy them. And there's lots of quilting Vlogmases, along with Vlogmases for, well, you name it, for every niche that's out there. So all you need to do is put in quilting Vlogmas, and you're going to find videos that talk about what people are doing each day for Vlogmas to prepare for Christmas Day. You're going to find unboxings. You're going to find quilting ideas. You're going to find Notion ideas. You're going to find gift ideas. It's all there. So I haven't put a link into any of these in the show notes. All you need to do is go to the top of your screen and do a search, and I'll put in quilting Vlogmases, and you're going to find a whole host of these everywhere. So enjoy the season. So for future projects, as you know, my plan for 2026 is to spend a little bit more time developing my bag making skills, going beyond just your basic tote bags. And I have a whole file folder of free bag patterns from a company called So Sweetness. That I downloaded some time ago, and I'm going to maybe start with some of them because I'm going to start simple and move my way up. But here's one of the first ones that I'll probably do, and it's called the Baker Street Bag. This week's future project is bag making. Yes, I'm thinking in the new year of making a few more bags, getting myself more immersed into that. And I thought I'd start off with some things that are kind of simple to get my feet wet and then work my way up with other projects. And this is one of the simple bags I'm talking about, and it's from So Sweetness, and it's called the Baker Street Bag. And you can see the price. It is free. And on this particular site, So Sweetness, you will find many bag patterns that are free. So I have printed off a bunch of these, and this is one of them. It's a very basic, simple bag, but I do like what makes it stand out for me is the rounded bottoms as opposed to your boxed bottoms. I don't think I've ever done a bag with rounded bottoms to it. So this will be something new that I am learning. It's not a huge bag. It finishes at 12 inches long, 8 inches tall, and 4 inches deep, but it's not a decent size for, you know, carrying to your local quilt store. So in the next few weeks, I'll be featuring some of the various designs from this company because I printed out quite a few of them, and they were all free, as I said, but each one looks like it's going to give me a bit of a challenge, and it's going to teach me something that I need to know in my quest to really refine my bag making skills. So you will find this pattern, the link in the show notes. So that takes me to what's twisting my seams. Well, I don't have any fabric to show you because nobody has sent any in the last little while. Hint, hint, hint. Yes, if I'm going to continue doing this segment on here, or maybe you don't want this segment, maybe this holds no interest for you whatsoever, and that's fine. It was an experiment when I started it, and I don't know how popular it is, so maybe in the comments below you can tell me, and my feelings won't be hurt if you decide, nah, not really our cup of tea or whatever. That's fine. I'd rather know that and not bother, wasting my time on something that people aren't interested in. But if you are interested, and if you would like me to feature something you have found in your stash, then please send me a picture of it, just one, and tell me 3 things. First thing is, what was it about it initially that prompted you to get your hands on it? 2, did you do anything with it, or did you have any plans for it, and did you actually do it? And if not, why? And the last part is, do you still love it? Is it still a piece of fabric that you still love and can't bear to part with? Or, that's going somewhere else. I've lost my interest. And why? So those are the only three things that I asked for. So in the meantime, since I don't have anything from you to show, I'm just going to have a little rant. Seeing as I do not have anything for what's twisting my seams this week, people, I need some things for what's twisting my seams. I thought I would have a little rant. And you're going, uh-oh, might be time to fast forward this. Suit yourself. Okay, what's my rant about? Well, it's Christmas season, we're thinking of gifts, and we're thinking about maybe possibly gifting some of our quilts that we've made over the last year or so. But how do we decide who is quilt worthy? Because not everyone deserves a quilt. And I think what you have to do is, or what people seem to forget is, they're all excited about giving a quilt to, say, a grandchild or a sibling or, a parent or the neighbor, something like that. And we think we're doing them a great thing, that they're going to really appreciate it. And then we are sadly let down when we don't get the response we were expecting. For example, you give a quilt to somebody, you've spent a long time on it, you really feel it's a good example of your best work, you're proud of it, and you hand it to the person in anticipation that they are going to go, oh, this is wonderful, thank you so much, I'll cherish it forever. And instead they give you a lukewarm thank you, like, oh, that's nice, thanks. Well, you know right then and there where your quilt's going to end up. It's either going to end up in the back of a closet somewhere or under a dog or cat. And that's disheartening, isn't it? So I think we need to be much more selective about who we give what we make to. First of all, you want to give it to somebody who appreciates the time, effort, and expense that you put into whatever it is that you created. If these are the kind of people who, for example, whatever you've given them doesn't quite match their home decor, they're not quilt worthy. Okay? If somebody reacts to you like, oh, well, like one of the reactions I had not so long ago, I have no place to store it. Wrong reaction. Do not give them one of your creations. If they look at it and they go, oh, I saw something like this at Walmart or at the dollar store, definitely don't give them one of your creations. So think about it before you get yourself into a situation like that where, you're going to be disappointed. And here's the danger. It's not just the disappointment, but it is the blow to your self-esteem. You are probably very proud of what you have created. I am sure you are. And you want to give it to somebody who's going to appreciate that and make you feel proud of what you have created. Well, don't set yourself up for a fall. Make sure it's somebody who understands what it took for you to create whatever you created. You can come away from what could be the potential of a very happy moment. You're giving of yourself, really, to someone else, and coming away with a very negative attitude. And you might even take that attitude and beat yourself up with it. It wasn't good enough. They didn't like it. I'm not good enough. Why am I doing this? I shouldn't bother to even try. No. Don't make an excuse for their bad to make you feel bad. All right? So think about it. Think about who's going to get this gift. A child, if you're giving it to a child, they may be too young to appreciate it. Maybe hold off on that. Lots of people give baby blankets when a newborn comes onto the scene. Is that for the baby or is that for the baby's parents? Because the baby doesn't know and they don't care. They can't distinguish between a quilt you spent days and weeks and that working on and something that came from Walmart. All right? So maybe hang on to that and make it maybe a little bigger quilt for when they're a little older and can appreciate your work. Also, think about your relatives as well, what they like, what they don't like. You probably know them very well. Don't think that they're suddenly going to flip over, and when they don't believe that something that's handmade is good enough for them are going to say because you made it that it's good enough for them. You're setting yourself up for a fall. So don't do that. Be selective about who gets a piece of you, because everything that you create is exactly that. It is a piece of you. It's an extension of your personality. So don't let anybody undercut that. Give your creations to people who you feel can appreciate it, who are quilt worthy. So besides what I've already shown you, what have I been doing in the past week? Busy, always. And well, here's what I've been up to. So this has been a good week for getting projects done. And as you can see, this is my project table. And I think this is as neat as it has ever been. I can actually see the surface of the tabletop on here. And yeah, those are a couple of projects. That one in the basket is the one with the cat on the panel, if you remember some time ago. I'm thinking of, well, I've cut the pieces for it. It's not a very big project. It's pretty quick. It's pretty much just straight sewing, putting borders on a panel. But that's ready to go. And get on with that. And then I've got the mini block sampler book from Art East sitting right over there to remind me that I want to get started on some of those blocks. But as I've mentioned before, I'm going to do this over a long period of time. When the mood hits me, I need a palette cleanser, I'll do a block, that kind of thing. In this basket is, I've had this sitting here for quite a while. This is for another Quilt of Valor. And I think I've got the pattern in here that I want to do. Unfortunately, this is a pattern by Patty's Patchwork, and I've had bad luck with her patterns before because they're not very well written and there's mistakes. So I will be going through that with a fine-tooth comb to make sure everything's going to work out okay. And I think I have most of the fabrics for that in the basket, so that's another project to get on with. I did put up things to hold all of my file folders of future projects and things like that. So I got those made. Now the embroidery machine over there is working away at things, and what it's doing is it's making these tiled patterns. You can see the first one here, and this will become eventually a decorative Christmas sock or maybe a small wall hanging. I haven't decided exactly yet. Of course, I've already shown you the table runner. And let me back up a bit. There it is. Very happy how that turned out. That was an In the Hoop project. I do have a bag. You know that my plan is for the new year to work on more bags, to get, you know, proficient in making different styles of bags, things like that. And this is the Holland bag I have right in here. And I've got the fabric picked out for it. So that may be the first bag that I'll be making very soon. As you can see, the embroidery machine is working madly away here on the second panel of that decorative Christmas sock. And right now, the 3D printers are all quiet, but they won't stay like that for long. I don't know what I'm going to do next with that, although I do know I have two elaborate buildings from Fulov. He's the guy that made the Dracula's Castle, Haunted Mansion, Christmas Manor, the stage. You've seen my creations before. I love doing them. Well, I have two that I've got all the parts printed out for, but now I have to get them put together. And yeah, that's another project coming up as well to get on with that. So yeah, that's what I've been up to lately and getting ready for Christmas. Lots of events happening in the next little while, as you well know. And yeah, we carry on. And that takes me to my last segment, which is online quilt stores, my review. And this week I'm reviewing MSM Fabrics and Quilting. This week's online quilt store is called MSM Fabrics and Quilting, located in St. Thomas, Ontario. So let's just take a look at their front page. I may be on the front page, not sure. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so you can shop by category. Novelty, I guess these are all considered novelty. And then they have seasonal and new products and events and workshops. They don't have anything listed for that. They do have where they're located, their brick and mortar store, and they ship by Canada Post or FedEx. And They even talk about caring for the product, like how to wash it and dry it. So that's interesting. Payment options, only two, Visa and MasterCard. I guess they don't take PayPal or Shopify. So let's go up and take a look at their prices. Well, in their menu, they have a very simple menu. Home, solids, prints, flannel, fleece, seasonal, panels, notions, accessories, and contact us. All right, well, let's jump into solids, shall we, and see what they have to offer. And they have 29 solids according to this, and they're showing 1 to 9 right now. And price, $10 per meter for a solid. That's expensive. Usually I pay a little less than that. That's 20. Oh no, sorry. That's per meter. That's pretty good. That's $10 per meter. That's really good. Sorry about that. And yeah, they're solids. Now, who makes these solids? Do we have a company name? Oh, there's some even cheaper, $9.50 a meter. Not telling us though who these are by. No indication where these solids come from. $10 a meter there. 10. Just that red one was $9.50. Everything else seems to be, oh wait, there's another one. $9.50. I wonder what the difference is. Well, okay, so they have, you know, solids. Solids are solids, I guess. Let's go for prints. Oh, okay. This looks like $17 per meter. That's a good price. Again, who is it by? They're not telling us. No description. It looks very much like Henry Glass, but I'm not really sure about that. And see, I have the Fireman one. I've seen that one before. That one's upside down. Some flowers. They have quite a few pages. How many pages? They have 182 in prints. Let's jump further ahead and see what other prints they may have. $19, $17, $20. So it looks like the price on prints ranges from $17 to $20 a meter. Let's go to the last page. Okay, a lot of their prints seem to be novelty. Oh, Tula. Is that Tula? Because if that's Tula, that's a really good price on Tula. Pink. Again, no indication whatsoever as to who the manufacturer is or who the designer is. Let's go back one more. I would like to have known who the designer is. A lot of these are kind of juvenile. There's a few that are good blenders. But if you're looking for novelty fabrics, then I think this might be the spot to go. But otherwise, not really seeing anything that I'd really want to make a quilt out of beyond maybe a baby quilt. Well, there's some of these. Well, again, though, not really floating my boat. Happy Place, My Happy Place, My Happy Place. I guess they say the name of it right there, My Happy Place. So let's see, go back, hover over it. 5-alarm dogs, 5-alarm equipment, 5-alarm fire trucks, and Maria. Okay, I guess they do sort of say who the company is. I thought that might have been Henry Glass, but either that or it's a line, I don't know. So yeah, I guess it's there. Now, I didn't notice, was it on the solids? And it just says cotton solid. So yeah, okay. Really not impressed by the choice of prints because most of it seems a little bit juvenile. When I say juvenile, I mean more geared towards kids or novelty. They do have flannel if you're interested in flannel. Just again, solid flannels, $10 per meter. Is that a flannel? That looks very much like the solids that were under solid.
No, wait. That says it's cotton solid. So, yeah, I'm confused. Do they mean cotton as in, I guess flannel is a form of cotton, or is it? Um, Either way, there's not much to choose from. Yeah, okay. Fleece. No product. Seasonal. Okay, they have 26 results in seasonal. They've got some Halloween, 1675. They've got some Christmas. A lot of these I have seen over the past few years. Nothing really standing out here as being too unique or special. $18 a meter for that. Yeah, these sugar skulls have been done to death. Sorry for the pun on that. Um, Not really the best selection here, and not very recent either. And prices vary, it looks like, from $17 to $20 a meter. They do have panels. Again, yeah, 3 panels. Nothing really to write home about. Notions and accessories, and they've got nothing there. Okay, so that's it. That's all there is here. No idea how much they are charging, but probably a standard um rate that Canada Post charges. I just put under contact us. Let's see if there's anything more information. Oops. Um, you can inquire about the different things that they have. You inquire about quilting classes. They didn't show that they had any right now. That may be because it's the month of December and people are busy with Christmas, so they're not doing that kind of thing. I don't know. This one is very difficult to assess. I have a feeling they do more business in their store, in their brick and mortar store, than they do online. Their selection is kind of ho-hum. Their prices aren't bad. Their prices, range. It looked like the most expensive thing was at about $20, but your selection is not good. So for all those reasons, I'm going to give MSM Fabrics and Quilting's online store 5 out of 10.
So that's it for me today. Got to go out for my walk, and I have some other projects that I'm working on as well, so I need to get to those. But just a reminder, Pop-Up Sew Day, December 20th, not this Saturday, December 20th. And for in the future, that was December 20th, 2025. Oh, remember 2025? Yeah. Okay, so that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you on So Chatty on Friday, and of course on Stephen and Walter Live next Sunday at 4 p.m. Bye for now.